especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which includes him.
Responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for...
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices.
Boxing experts are calling out Canelo Alvarez for alleged steroid use ahead of his fight with Terence Crawford, pointing to his sudden muscle gains and history of failed PED tests. David Benavidez has also spoken out, questioning why Canelo continues to avoid a showdown with him if he's truly confident. He further claims that 5 members of Canelo's team have tested positive for steroids, accusing the entire camp, including Canelo, of being dirty, which only intensifies the controversy surrounding this highly anticipated matchup.
Of all time, in my opinion. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which includes him. He never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does 5?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do 5 people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. All those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
Yeah.
I seen Eddie Reynoso on my fight, so we made a joke. He said like he came to watch me the fight and shit. And then they're like, "Oh, you think he's?" In my head, I'm like, "What do you think Eddie Reynoso's thinking about?" He's like, "Are we gonna fight David Benavidez after seeing this fight?" In his head, Eddie Reynoso's like, "Fuck no, we not fighting him."
Yeah, of course.
Honestly, I don't blame Canelo. It's fucked up because there's a lot of money.
It's not even about the money. It's not about the money. But okay,
100 million, dude.
But
He's
made money. The first step when you're a fucking warrior, bro, the only thing you think about is glory. I've never thought about money. I've been smart. I'm negotiating my shit. But it's always a prize, bro. It's always, if I go out there and beat Canelo, bro, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna live forever in boxing as a legend. That means way more to me than any type of money.
Yeah. And I think that separates you too, David. And I admire that shit about you. I was like that at one point.
Yeah.
How much you give me?
Yeah.
and not to just bypass him. Shout out to Morel as well.
Eddie Reynoso's gym is facing intense scrutiny amid accusations that he personally provides performance-enhancing substances to fighters in his camp, including Canelo Alvarez, who has already faced steroid allegations twice. Critics highlight that multiple fighters from the same gym have tested positive, casting serious doubt on the integrity of the training environment. As Canelo gears up for his bout with Terence Crawford, many are questioning how he's managing to bulk up so quickly, further fueling suspicions around the camp.
Accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight class. At a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not going to get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old, I'm not. If by 55 years old, I'm not. The only way I'm going to get up to 260.
Observers point out that gaining significant muscle mass naturally in your 30s is extremely difficult. Yet Canelo's noticeably larger physique has raised eyebrows. This transformation has only intensified speculation, especially given the controversial history of Reynoso's camp with growing concerns. Both fans and analysts are beginning to question whether Canelo's physical changes are the result of natural training or another instance of PEDs quietly influencing the outcome of a major
30-year-old for a 30-year-old. Right? You remember, your body grows. Men's body can grow in height and length up until you're to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and is all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length in your mid 20s. You know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30. So Canelo Alvarez is about to fight a guy that is going to put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Joe Rogan's comments about Canelo Alvarez have ignited serious discussion throughout the boxing community. As a respected voice in combat sports and physical performance, Rogan highlighted how unusual it is for someone in their 30s to bulk up so rapidly, especially when natural muscle growth typically slows with age. Yet Canelo appears to defy that biological trend. For Rogan, this isn't just speculation, it's grounded in science. He believes that such a sudden transformation is nearly impossible to achieve naturally, suggesting that outside help may be involved. And when someone with Rogan's influence and deep understanding of elite conditioning speaks out, the world pays attention.
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices. But I'm a Triple G fan, so I'm a say that ahead of time. I just like
There's a
Triple G.
lot of money on it, and if I could get away with it, I would do it as well.
Some tainted beefs.
I think, well, he definitely got busted once or something. But it could have been from tainted beef. We don't know. But it also could be that, we should probably leave them alone and let them do whatever they want to do. Do you want to see Manny Pacquiao fight or not? Right? I want to see him juiced up, fighting at 45 years of age, coming in with a full six-pack, lighting people on fire.
As the Canelo versus Terence Crawford fight approaches, speculation about steroid use is growing louder among fans and analysts. Many say they wouldn't be surprised if Canelo were using performance-enhancing substances, pointing to his access to world-class facilities, top-tier nutritionists, elite doctors, and advanced recovery tools. With unlimited resources and the pressure to stay on top, critics argue that the temptation to take shortcuts is hard to resist. They believe the environment surrounding Canelo provides every opportunity to use banned substances without facing immediate consequences.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak. He's going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it. He's pretty much a billionaire. He has access to everything.
Floyd Mayweather has never shied away from criticizing Canelo Alvarez, and he's been vocal about the issue of steroids, claiming that too many people are afraid to confront it. According to Floyd, boxing operates under a double standard. Some fighters are heavily scrutinized while others, like Canelo, are protected due to their fame and marketability. He believes that promoters, broadcasters, and even fans are reluctant to question Canelo because of his status in the sport. But Mayweather isn't backing down, emphasizing that steroid use isn't just cheating, it's dangerous and undermines the very integrity of boxing.
Talk about is, we talk Canelo. Steroid. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
In the build-up to Canelo versus Crawford, steroid accusations haven't just come from analysts. Fans from both sides are fiercely clashing, trading ped allegations. Crawford's supporters question Canelo's sudden size and power, while camp casts doubt on Crawford's endurance and physical transformation at a higher weight class. The tension has escalated so much that both fighters agreed to undergo extensive ped testing before the fight, not just to meet official requirements, but to reassure a skeptical public. The fact that both camps felt compelled to prove their clean status highlights the current lack of trust in boxing. While fan passion runs high, so do expectations for transparency. And the ongoing ped debate has left both teams with no choice but to respond.
Canelo and Crawford are strictly and consistently doing random data testing in order to silence each other's fan base and their critics ahead of their showdown this September. Now, despite this being a normal thing, the gravity of this fight brings in more attention to their test results, partly due to the fact suspicion regarding both men have been up as of lately, namely Crawford's sudden bulk and jump to 168 and his close relationship associated with Team Canelo, as well as him once testing positive for clenbuterol 7 years ago due to contaminated meat. With that said, both men have been doing random testing since June and will undergo strict and consistent random tests up until they finally meet next month. Now it's worth remembering that despite all the recent allegations for Canelo and Crawford, both fighters have been consistent.
Canelo Alvarez didn't always have the powerhouse physique he boasts today. Early in his career, he was smaller, faster, and fought more like a natural welterweight, but over time, his transformation has been striking. Now, not only is he facing bigger opponents, he's dominating them. This dramatic shift has sparked widespread speculation about how he managed to bulk up so effectively. Given his age and the grueling nature of boxing, critics question whether such growth is truly natural. While some credit elite training and discipline, others remain unconvinced.
More towards Canelo, because like I said before, he's been putting big guys out and down. Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60, maybe. He been hurting these guys. I think he dropping these guys and things like that. So them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. He be probably close to 200 pounds. He dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm up fight. At like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body, the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long
Nico Ali Walsh, rising boxing star and grandson of Muhammad Ali, offered thoughtful insights on Terence Crawford's preparation to face a physically dominant opponent like Canelo Alvarez. He stressed that Crawford isn't blindly stepping into a size disadvantage, he's approaching it with strategy and precision. According to Walsh, Crawford has been sparring with much larger fighters to adapt to the power and pressure Canelo is known for, viewing this not just as a bold move, but a calculated one. Walsh believes that transforming risk into opportunity is what sets great fighters apart from the rest. By tailoring his training to directly counter Canelo's strengths, Crawford is refining the exact tools he'll need in the ring. Walsh's perspective underscores the deliberate and intelligent planning behind Crawford's camp. They know the challenge ahead, and they're preparing for it with zero room for error.
Before Canelo's last fight, then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
Being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing. You can see it.
Respected boxing journalist Dan Raphael offered a compelling explanation for why Terence Crawford is taking on this fight not for money, but for legacy. According to Raphael, Crawford isn't chasing a paycheck, he's chasing greatness, aiming to be remembered as a legend who embraced the biggest risks. This matchup isn't about playing it safe, it's about cementing a place in boxing history. However, Raphael also acknowledges the massive challenge that lies ahead. Defeating Canelo will demand more than just skill, it will require near-perfect execution. Every misstep could cost Crawford the fight, making ring IQ, timing, and physical durability absolutely
Terence
critical.
Crawford is a marvelous boxer, arguably the best in the world, pound for pound. But can you hurt Canelo? If you can't hurt him, I have no doubt he could outbox him. My issue is, if you can't hurt him, what kind of a challenge can you truly pose? What do you say to that?
No, that's a great point. I mean, here's the thing: Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go back way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media, and I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention, and he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember Stephen A., all of us looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hyped about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round one, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was like, I don't know, 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, physically, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punches. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes. Do any damage? Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, he didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov, people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. Well, you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154. What the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up and get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think.
What sets Terence Crawford apart is his ability to control a fight through timing, skill, and intelligence rather than brute force. He doesn't rely on overpowering opponents. He breaks them down methodically. Whether fighting orthodox or Crawford dictates the pace and forces his opponents to adjust to him, making him a nightmare for power-based fighters like Canelo. While Canelo may have the edge in size and raw strength, Crawford's mastery of distance, movement, and footwork helps level the playing field. His strategy will likely focus on avoiding risky exchanges and exploiting Canelo's slower footwork. Crawford's finesse isn't just a style, it's a weapon. In a fight against a knockout artist, staying out of danger while landing clean shots is essential. His unpredictability could be the key to unsettling Canelo. If you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment * with your thoughts. Your support keeps us going with the latest boxing updates and analysis.